Hey, what's up, universe? Welcome to episode 34 of It's a Choice. So this episode's going to be about cause and effect, choosing your cause. And I'm not talking about like social causes or anything of that nature. I'm talking about what do you choose to cause in your life. I've been thinking about this over the last almost 2 weeks now about cause and effect. And Jim Fortin, obviously, maybe not so obvious, but Jim Fortin is the one that led me to really think about this, especially in the context of money and the law of attraction and things of that nature. Except for, it's a thing that can be applied to anything in our life. So I just started thinking about cause and effect. And I've read the Kabbalion. I've listened to it a couple of times. I've read it a couple of times. And there's one of the Hermetic principles, one of the Hermetic laws is the law of cause and effect. And to put it in context, Jim talks about how we attract our wealth and how we create our wealth and how money isn't tied to work, right? Money is not tied to how hard we work, not how many hours we work. It's not tied to that. Our money, excuse me, is energy, right? And so money is the effect. It's subsequent to a cause. There's something that caused you to get money, right? Now, most of us are tied to the whole 9 to 5 thing, or like working for somebody else, and like you get a job. That job is the cause, and the money, your paycheck, is the effect of you working at that job. And Jim's like, that's bullshit. That's not how that works. I mean, that's definitely what we've been framed. That's what we've been given. That's what we've been modeled. And that's kind of what we're born into, right? So I started thinking about this because Jim talks about expansion. Expansion is the cause. Like when you create expansion in people's lives, then that's the cause of money flowing to you, right? So it's not the how hard you work, it's not how many hours, it's expansion. Like things beget like things. If you expand somebody's life, in turn, your life will become expanded. Now, it doesn't always have to like come back to you in the form of money. For sure, I'm living examples of that right now. This house, all of the stories that I have about all of the goodwill that's been benefited, to me, that I have benefited from. Doesn't show up in the form of money per se, but definitely shows up in like things that I would have had to pay for, things that would have taken money for me to have. It's a form of energy, right? There's an energetic exchange going on. And if you hear any noise in the background, sorry, that's ice maker on the refrigerator. So anyway, it got me thinking about this cause and effect. And so let's take a look at the definitions, right? Because I like words, right? So cause, the definition of cause is a person or thing that gives rise to an action, phenomenon, or condition. Sorry, that's loud, isn't it? So I'll say that again. The definition of cause is a person or thing that gives rise to an action, phenomenon, or condition. Now, what's the definition of effect? Effect is a change, which is a result or a consequence of an action or other cause, right? So if you caused expansion, if you are a person that gives rise to an action, a phenomenon, or a condition, so in this case it would be a condition. If you're a person that creates the condition of expansion, that's your cause. You've caused that to happen. The effect is then there's a change, which results, a change which is a result or a consequence of an action or other cause. So that change is typically you receiving your money, right? Or me being able to rent this house, or me having grace, for like missing payments on things. That's the effect. Now, I caused some form of expansion in these people's lives, and the effect is me being graced with, being blessed, I should say, with their grace. That's the effect of the cause that I created. And that got me thinking a little bit further, right? Like, because how do we create the cause, right? How do we create the cause? Now, we can just like choose to do something, but as we learned from Jim, doing isn't the first thing you do. You've got to be something, right? You have to identify with something. You have to identify the something, and then that identity allows you or causes you, that identity causes you is a better way to say, to do the things that that identity does so you can have the things that that identity has. So intention, what do you intend? What identity do you intend to have, right? Now, the definition of intention is a thing intended, an aim, a plan, a purpose, an objective, a goal, right? What do you intend to happen? What do you intend to get? How do you intend to be, right? To cause the things, to do the things that affect the effect, cause and effect that okay, yeah, sorry. What do you intend to be to cause the things, which is being, causes being, that the effect is doing those things, a result, a consequence of an action or cause. You're being something which causes you to do the things so that you can have those things. So I'm going to give like a concrete example of this, right? So I mean, like we did money, but I was thinking about this since I have that other podcast, The Real Zach Olinger, about relationships, right? So I started thinking about this. So I broke it down. And the first iteration that I came up with was that showing up, right? Me stepping into my masculine is a cause. You know, my intention is to be in my masculine energy. The cause is like me showing up a certain way for my feminine partner, right? So showing up is the cause for polarity. Actually, let me back up. The first iteration was showing up is the cause of better sex, right? Better sex is the effect of showing up. So you can see that it's a chain. Cause and effect are a chain. So one thing causes something, one cause creates an effect. The effect becomes the cause of something else, which then affects something, and that effect becomes a cause. Like, so they're very synonymous. Another synonym for effect is sequel. It's subsequent to a primary cause, but that effect is going to like cause something else, because like a change can definitely be a thing that gives rise to an action or phenomenon or condition. So the definition of effect is a change which is a result or consequence of an action or other cause. But that effect can also be a thing that gives rise to an action, phenomenon, or condition. So it's a chain reaction. It's a cascading effect. So one thing causes, like one cause creates an effect. That effect creates another cause. That cause creates an effect. That effect creates another cause. So I broke it down, right? So my first example was showing up is the cause of better sex. Me showing up in the relationship in certain ways is going to get me better sex, right? And better sex is the effect of showing up, right? Showing up is a cause, better sex is an effect, and better sex is an effect of showing up. So I broke it down. I was like, okay, so showing up is the cause for polarity within a relationship. And polarity is the effect of showing up. To chain it, polarity is then the cause for passionate attraction. Passionate attraction is the effect of polarity. Passionate attraction is the cause for higher quality sex. Higher quality sex is the effect of passionate attraction. So that just shows like how there's a cause and then the effect becomes the cause and the next thing down, and then that cause affects something else, and then that effect creates the cause for something else. So this is, I don't know, it's just the topic that I found a little fascinating. And of course, that all stemmed from Jim talking about money and thinking about money as energy rather than just something that you earn, right, through hard work. And so the law of cause and effect is interesting, and it seems to be rooted, of course, as I mentioned earlier, in intention. Like, set your intentions. What do you intend to cause? to affect the things in your life. And I have another thing that I want to talk about at some point. This isn't the podcast to do it in, but I also want to mention, I want to mention that Jim talking about this made me think about my money story. And my money story has been very interesting over the last, 12 years. And I recognized what I did about 12 years ago that really sent my money story on a completely different path. As a child, I was super great with money. I still feel like I can be, and that I am actually really great with money, even though totally in debt. But I know now what I did 12 years ago to set me up for this. I know what my cause was, and now I'm seeing the effect of that. And it's totally a story, and I see what I did and how I did it. And it was absolutely a choice, 100% a choice. I didn't know at the time that that's what was going to happen. I didn't know at the time that I was choosing this thing that was going to cause this thing that affected me now. I had no fucking idea that it was going to put me in the position that I'm in. And I'm not beating myself up about it. It's just an interesting reflection. And I'm grateful to have the opportunity to be able to look at this in a different light. So what I'm trying to say, what I want to talk about at some point is that, when Jim talks about money as energy, right? And I have a certain belief, story, all of that kind of stuff, programming around the word money, right? And instead of money, I like the word currency. And so when Jim talks about money being energy, and I like the word currency instead of money, I was like, how do I get this into a framework of an electrical system, right? We all know about volts and amps and ohms and watts. We've heard of these words anyway. We don't necessarily know them, but we've heard of the words. And my background being in IT, you would think that I would have a firm grasp of this stuff, or at least a decent grasp of this stuff, but I didn't. So I sat down about 12 days ago, watched some videos, which even the videos online are not that great, which leads me to think there's a whole lot of shit about electricity we don't actually understand. But regardless, the very fundamentals, the basics, I didn't fucking really know. So I sat down with a few videos and I started watching this stuff. And basically what I'm trying to get to is I believe I've fleshed out an explanation for me that takes a current system that I can wrap my head around, which is an electrical current system, and describe it in the context of money, right? And apply and use use this metaphor of an electrical current system and apply it to how money works. So I'll share that at some point. I think sometimes visual aids are great. I've tried to describe this to a couple of people and they're like, if you could show me, that would be better. So I'm going to work on that. And when I get that created, I will just share that on my YouTube channel. But anyway, that's just kind of what I was intending to do. The cause, meaning what do I intend to cause, is just awareness. Because I don't know if anybody's got money stories like I do, the way that probably not the same way that I set myself up, but cause awareness around what this means as far as money being energy. I think this particular framework, this particular visual and metaphor will make it accessible to others. So that's my intention. That's what I intend to cause. And my effect, I don't know. That's the thing, is sometimes we have intentions, we cause things, and we have unintended consequences. So who knows? I don't know. Just raising awareness is what I'm trying to get to. That's my intention, to cause and affect that. Anyway, just wanted to put that out there. Thank you guys for listening, and have a good Tuesday. Have a great Tuesday. Have a fucking excellent Tuesday. And a fucking excellent week. Why stop there? Seriously. Go have great sex. Seriously. Show up, create that polarity, fuck like rabbits, have a good time. Maybe not. I don't know. Just enjoy yourself. All right, everybody. Go live an inspired life so you can inspire others to live their authentic and inspired life. Because at the end of the day, living an inspired life is a choice. All right, I love you guys. See you next time.